Now at 6:30, a Christmas morning fire forces several people out of some Lexington apartments. And crews are assessing the damage caused by two rare tornadoes in Northern California as the death toll from storms in the south rises. And Janet Jackson will not be coming to Rupp Arena next month. Why she's postponing her tour coming up.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and Merry Christmas to you. I'm Sean Moody filling in on the anchor desk today. It might be Christmas Day, but it feels a little bit more like April out there with that wet weather. Let's check in with Mike Linden right now in the First Alert Weather Center. Man, that looks like a mess.
A pretty messy look is right, Sean. We are tracking more heavy rain and storms working their way back into the bluegrass. We take a closer look at the storms. Right now, that rainfall beginning to work its way back into Woodford County, already over Anderson County, but the heaviest rainfall over western Anderson County right now along the BG Parkway, working its way eastward, and this is going to make for a messy start to your Christmas holiday. A flood watch already in anticipation of the storm working its way in from the west. That's mainly for southern and southeastern Kentucky, as we'll see the heaviest bands move through later this afternoon for those spots. That flood watch stays with us until Saturday morning, but that will pretty much be the theme of the next few days. Heavy rain and strong storms set to work their way through the bluegrass. Coming up, I'll take you through the next few days and show you how much rain we should see when all is said and done.
All right, Mike, thank you. Several Lexington families were forced out of their homes early on this Christmas morning. It's because there was a fire inside their apartment complex. WKYT's Mike Byer is live on Cambridge Drive to explain what happened. Good morning, Mike.
Dozens of people are now back inside of their apartments this Christmas morning after a fire forced them to evacuate. The fire happened at around 2:30 a.m. here at the Cambridge Place Apartments on Lexington's west side. When first responders arrived, they tell us that they located a fire coming from a first-floor apartment unit. Firefighters say that fire started because of a furnace. As a result, the apartment where the fire started and the one directly above it received significant damages. The two families living in them, as well as dozens of others, had to be evacuated while firefighters battled the flames, which they say they were able to put out in minutes. Meanwhile, no one was hurt, and firefighters tell us a big reason for that is because the apartments had working smoke detectors. As for the two families whose apartments were damaged by the fire, they are being taken care of by the property owners until the units are repaired. Now, several of the apartments were without power and gas for a short time, which firefighters say they had to shut off while they battled the flames. The powers or the services for both of those have since been restored. Meanwhile, these families are now back to spending Christmas the way it should be, inside and safe. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. New on WKYT this morning, state police are looking for the driver involved in a deadly hit and run. The Christmas Eve crash happened in Wolfe County on Kentucky 191. State police say 32-year-old Jamie Robinson of Campton was hit and killed. They've not released any details about the driver responsible. Sad news out of Floyd County this morning. 4 people were killed in a fiery crash there. It happened last night on Highway 114 near Prestonsburg Elementary School. Investigators say a 5th victim was taken to the hospital. We don't know that person's condition this morning. Police say one of the cars caught fire in that crash. They haven't released the names of any of the people involved. Also new this morning, at least 7 people were taken to the hospital after a 5-car crash in Lawrence County. Emergency management shared these pictures of the scene on US 23. Investigators said the crash could have been much worse. You can see fog was thick in the area there at the time. There's no word on the seriousness of the injuries. Firefighters likely saved a man's life by rescuing him from inside his burning home. Last night's fire was on Heritage Drive, just north of downtown Nicholasville, and we're told a newly recruited firefighter ran up to the 2nd floor of that house and rescued the man who was unconscious.
They dragged him out of there.
They laid him on the ground and they're trying to revive him until the paramedics got here, but then the house started just rolling in smoke.
That victim was taken to UK Hospital. He was the only person inside the home at the time. 3 other people lived there, but they were out of town. Firefighters are still trying to figure out exactly what caused the fire, but they do think it was an accident. North Carolina authorities say an off-duty officer at a crowded mall shot and killed a man who pointed a gun at him following a shooting. Police in Charlotte say a long-standing dispute between people who knew one another sparked the shooting that sent shoppers ducking for cover. Police say no one else was hit and there were no other reports of injuries. Crews with the National Weather Service are heading to Northern California today to assess the strength of two rare tornadoes that touched down on Christmas Eve. The unusual holiday time weather pattern triggered deadly tornadoes in the south this week, blamed for at least 14 deaths in 3 states. Don Champion has the latest.
On this holiday of giving, some people in Northern California are taking stock of what's lost after an outbreak of tornadoes.
Seeing trees swirling like a blender, it was like they're in a blender. It was pretty scary.
Oh my gosh.
Cell phone video captured the twisters roaring through El Dorado County and Modesto, bringing down power lines and uprooting trees.
We've been here for 45 years. And we've never had anything like this before happen.
Mike Churchill saw a tree crash down on his neighbor's car. A child was inside.
The kid said, "Hey, Mom, stop," and hit the back and just barely hit the car, the back end of the SUV.
The rare tornadoes in California come as people in the Midwest and South continue cleaning up after an outbreak of deadly tornadoes there this week. Pastor Barry Reynolds, whose church was among hundreds of structures destroyed in Mississippi, called it a test from God.
He testing our faith, just seeing how strong we're going to be.
At this Red Cross shelter in Holly Springs, donations of food, clothing, and even Christmas gifts have poured in.
I've just not seen this kind of generosity in a single county anywhere I've worked.
Neighbors determined to keep the giving spirit alive in the face of so much loss. Don Champion, CBS News.
Another bizarre storm developing in the southern plains is forecast to bring heavy rain and blizzard conditions to the region this weekend, and the first snow of the season to the unseasonably warm northeast next week. Janet Jackson is postponing her tour, which includes a stop here in Lexington. The singer says she's having a surgical procedure, but didn't explain what it would be. On her website, she announced that all future Unbreakable tour dates have been postponed until the spring. No new dates have been announced. She was scheduled to perform at Rupp Arena on January 30th. Bristol Palin is a mother for the second time. Palin, who launched an abstinence campaign after giving birth as an unwed teenager, posted on Instagram on Christmas Eve that she gave birth to a girl, Sailor Grace, on Wednesday. Bristol is the daughter of 2008 Republican vice presidential nominee Sarah Palin, and she's not publicly identified the child's father, but announced she was pregnant shortly after her engagement to Medal of Honor recipient and Kentuckian Dakota Meyer. They broke off that engagement last spring. Yesterday, Meyer tweeted this picture saying, quote, "Best Christmas present ever." Dozens of volunteers are expected to be at the Salvation Army of Lexington today for the annual Christmas Day dinner. Volunteers will help serve food and drinks from noon to 1:30, and they say the meal is a great way to give back to the community. 6:38 now on your Christmas morning, and it's time to check live drive traffic this morning. On your Christmas, we don't expect to see too much going on out there. You can see pretty much all the roads are green. Looks like smooth sailing. There's a little bit of yellow there out toward the Paris Pike Winchester Road area heading on to looks like Man of War. But if you're heading out to visit family and friends on this Christmas morning, it looks like you won't have too much trouble. Stay safe out there, outside of the wet roads, that is, anyway. There is still a whole lot more to come on this Christmas morning. It was one of the most talked about controversies of the year. Seriously, what color is that dress? Coming up, a look back at 2015's most viral stories.
And the heavy rain is back in force. Could be looking at some heavy rain and stormy weather the next several days. It's all getting started here on Christmas morning. I'll break it down for you coming up.